Welcome to our data visualization learning session. Today, I'll be talking about human brain and data visualization. This is part of the essential design principles of Tableau from University of California, Dallas. Sorry, University of California, San Diego. Now, let's talk about data visualization and human brain. Getting most of data visualization begins with knowing few essentials about how human brain operates, understanding both its amazing strengths and some important limitations. If we know these attributes in our mind, along with design approaches to address them, then we can make visualization more useful, engaging, and effective. In this session, we'll learn about foundation of relationship between human brain and how to visualize the data. So let's begin. The visualization expert Ben Schneiderman once said that the purpose of visualization is insight, not pictures. He was absolutely right in that regard. The most important transformation that you can make out of a data is not into charts, but into some meaningful insights on the mind of your audiences. To facilitate this, it will help to develop some awareness about certain aspects of how our brain operates. Our brain is a wonderful thing. Our human brain has a capacity to process visual information. It is said that 60 to 30% of capacity of human brain is devoted to our processing visual information. And because of it, it processes visual information really fast. Now, if you compare this visual information processing capacity to touch and hearing capacity, you'll be surprised. The brain has ability to process touch capacity up to 8%, while hearing capacity up to 2%. Therefore, our brain is wired for fast visual processing. Let's go back into history of our ancestors. For our ancestors, the need for speed kept the balance between life and death. The ability to quickly decode between subtle visual cues like movement of animals could be difference between being a dinner or having a dinner. Although many of these dangers that lurk behind the bushes have receded away, the ability to process subtle cues remain in our brain. The ability to detect, match, and make sense of pattern is so powerful in human brain is that it is not only used for practical purposes in our daily lives, but also to play games for entertainment. The core part of data visualization is about repurposing our innate visual abilities to adapt to a world that is flooding with data. This is what a visual designer does, a visualization designer does. His job is to translate a data into patterns that helps to adapt our brain to the sort of data. The more you become aware of people's strengths and weaknesses in processing visual information, the better your design will become. We are often better at detecting patterns and features in a data when it is presented as a well executed diagram or a chart or visualization than in a tabular format. The example is given on a screen right here. As you can see, there are two pieces of information here. One information is given a tabular format, while other is given in the line chart format. Which one is better to understand easily? Can you guess? Of course, line chart. Line chart is way easier to see the trends in data than the tabular chart here. It helps us to understand data in a very spontaneously than reading line by line in the tabular format. In some cases, data can consist of millions of rows and columns. In this situation, using tabular format becomes impossible. And even those cases, using some common charts and graphs stretches them to a breaking point. A key to unlock the power of visualization is to use encoding. In visual encoding is the key. What is visual encoding? Can you guess? Visual encoding is about using visual attributes such as color and shape to different types of data. This is called visual encoding. This process translates data into visual shorthand. There are people really good at understanding, and this is called encoding, decoding. It is about translating data into visual shorthand that people are really good at decoding. Encoding translates data into visual shorthand that people are really good at decoding. Isn't that sound sweet? This is called visual encoding, and people are really good at decoding that. Keep that in mind. There are many ways of encoding data in a visualization toolbox, and the key is to find the right tools in your toolbox. Using the right balance of and mix of these options and balance to clarify the data for users. Here is an example. In this example, we have a string of letters. Now let me ask you a question. Can you find a letter P here? It is not easy to find, is it? Now, in the second line, I will highlight and bold every fourth letter in the string and make rest make light gray and unbolded. Now can you find P here? It's a lot easier now, isn't it? Yes, it is. Because of visual encoding, we are able to see the pattern much more clearly and quickly. Now take it one step further. In at this time, let's color code each and every letter in a different color. When we do this, it makes us very hard to take pattern, as if there are there are no colors, as was difficult as there were no colors at all or no encoding at all. Therefore, understanding therefore this and this are similar difficult to detect pattern easier, but this one is easier. Therefore, this is a benefit of encoding. Now, there are a variety of visual cues that pop out at us without any conscious effort. These are called sometimes pre-attentive attributes. They come at us without any special effort from us. In this set of candy logenesis, you can see the pre-attentive attributes based on color, shape, position, and other examples. In each of these examples, you'll find one element which is slightly different from the rest of the element in a slightly subtly different way. Even though the difference is very subtle, it pops out as if without any, we don't have to do anything, without any strong effort in our own part. It's just really easy to find it. Therefore, we say that the data visualization begins with visual perception, but it does not end there. Encoding provides a great raw materials for display. Encoding provides great raw materials for display, but you have to be skilled as using this raw material to help people to clearly think and accurately about the data they are seeing. An example we just saw, encoding helped to make some of the later popped out and helps your brain to decode them and make a sense of them as a wordplay. In our next lesson, we'll talk about few things. We'll talk about two systems that drive the way people think and how it applies to your design work. In the end, let me quickly summarize what we learned today. We learned about the purpose of visualization. Why do we use visualization on data and how it helps to get insights from data. We talk about how the human brain operates, and we talk about the history of how our brain has developed this kind of super capacity to process visual information. And we also talk about how we use the visual processing in our everyday life. We talk about how we can unlock the power of visualization using visual attributes such as color and shape, and pre-attentive attributes such as orientation, texture to help our visualization better. That's all for today, and I will see you next learning session. Thank you so much.